This is me, Will. I just spent the last 7 days eating as much food as possible to figure out whether it's possible to bulk up my puny muscles as a vegetarian and a long-distance runner. There are 3 problems that being a strict vegetarian causes when you're trying to bulk. The main one being that the meals I make are pretty huge. Pretty big. A vegetarian diet is by default high volume, low calorie. As a result, upping your calories can be a gut-busting nightmare. But this is about more than just aesthetics, i.e. developing pecs the size of Burkina Faso. I want to feel stronger, run faster, and overall have more energy. So let me summarize 7 days of eating 3,000 calories per day as a vegetarian. You're going to see exactly what happened to my body, understand how my mindset toward food shifted, and how I completely revolutionized my eating so that I could eat as much as possible. High-volume, low-calorie food will make you crash out and want to throw up. My first day, I failed. I couldn't eat anymore. I only ate 2,600 calories because I underestimated how much food 3,000 calories is in Veggie World. So to combat this, I made a few swaps. Rice cakes for bread, then bread for bagels. Salad for rice, and healthy homemade hummus for a weighty avocado or generous smearing of butter. Second day, and I realized I couldn't trust my body. It was a faulty machine that often didn't tell me I was hungry until it was too late. Right now I feel terrible. I feel my head hurts. I feel like I could probably fall asleep. Therefore, I implemented a strategy of eating every few hours, even if my hunger cues missed the mark. I just swept the floor and there's fucking spring onions everywhere. I loathe myself with every fibre of my being. Hell hath no fury like a spring onion dropped, chums. On top of this, I started the day small, like looking down my shorts in an ice bath, and grew my meals through the day. But despite in the evening having put away 2,500 calories, I still wanted my last meal of the day to be a big one. My body seems to respond more to habits than intuition. 3 days in and I'd gotten on top of my calories, but not my protein. One of the problems with being vegetarian is that not only do most meat products have more protein than veggie alternatives, the low bioavailability of plant-based foods mean we can only absorb 60 to 70% of the protein from ingredients like beans, whereas meats typically sit around the 95% mark. On top of this, drinking your protein is also a risk. Studies have found that protein powders can contain as much as 20% less protein than labeled. Subsequently, I adjusted my daily intake to 200 grams, way over the recommended 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight in case I was missing out in my diet. Until they break. Of course, the kitchen scales I'd been using for over a year broke on day 4, tripling the weight of all of my ingredients. I consumed an apparently nearly 1,000 calorie bagel, which utterly baffled me until I realized something was amiss. Nonetheless, the point still stands that if you're logging something like an avocado, subjectivity plays a huge role. Your idea of a medium avocado is different to my idea of a medium avocado.
This avocado just gave me a wedding ring.
Over the course of the week, I ran 50k on top of my usual 4 days at the gym. Just come back from a 15k. Humidity is like 90%. I'm dripping with sweat. Like, this t-shirt is fucking heavy. Upping my protein meant that I was neglecting my carbs. It's just net, but it's so bloody good. Which, when you're running several hours a week, should be around 400 to 700 grams, or 1,600 to 2,800 calories in carbs per day. Basically, like any real estate agent worth their salt, I'd lowball my opening gambit.
It's free real estate.
Throwing 4 or 5 hours of running into the mix meant that I was fiending for carbs, but not satisfying that need with my macro setup. The third problem with being a vegetarian is you're likely deficient in a platoon of different nutrients that will affect your day-to-day performance in the gym, running, or just living your life. I hadn't got any less tired over the preceding days, in fact feeling more flat than I had in weeks on the penultimate day of the challenge. This is despite eating 500 to 1,000 calories more per day. My point is, as a veggie, you aren't going to know where the loose screw is. Calories, macronutrients, micronutrients, or all of the goddamn above. God, this is so much food. On day 7, it was time for my final weigh-in. Stepping on the scale, the digitized display revealed that I had gained a whopping minus 0.2 kilograms, which, for those of you paying attention, is actually weight loss. I'd gone from 72.7 to 72.5 kilos, and as expected, my body looks more or less the same. Nonetheless, on the inside, I felt quite different, especially when exercising. Having the extra calories to play around with made running far more enjoyable and pushed me farther and faster than I'd gone in almost 12 months. In the House of Iron, my strength had marginally improved and recovery was far better. I'd pushed from 50 to 55 kilograms on the bench press and was performing more different exercises each session without fatiguing. In a world where eating less is often considered best, it was freeing to eat an amount of calories that many people might shake their head at and experience a profound physical and mental benefit as a result. However, as a vegetarian, I realized that even the extra calories weren't enough to solve my issues with fatigue and tiredness. As discussed earlier, there's deficiencies most plant eaters experience that sometimes can't be supplemented away. As a result, I've decided to step back from vegetarianism and into the wonderful world of pescatarianism. I'm genuinely so grossed out by the idea of this, but honestly, if my friends in the sea can help lift the exhaustion I experience most of the time, I'll learn to live with having exchanged morality for health. Anyway, that's it for me. Click right or left for more of me if you're feeling masochistic.